They play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey everyone, Ryan here. If you're like me, your personal messaging is also your personal space, completely private. That's why it's nice to know that privacy isn't just a feature on WhatsApp. It's built into everything they do. That's why no one, not even WhatsApp, can see or hear your personal messages. So the calls with your mom, chats about the latest work drama, and all those photos and videos of your dog, every personal message stays private because no one, not even WhatsApp, can see or hear your personal messages. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
Broadcasting live from the Fox Sports 940 Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB-FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up, and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up, and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Well, nice job, Ahmed. Welcome. We're live from Nationals Park on a 72-degree overcast Sunday in the nation's capital. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio, Fox Sports 940. Miami, game 68 of 162, Father's Day 2025. Big shout to my dad, Steve Strom. Thank you for everything you've done for me and continue to do for our family. I would not be here without you. The Marlins can do some spring cleaning. Let's call it Sunday cleaning this afternoon. They're looking to sweep their first opponent of the season and head back to Miami with a 5-4 road trip, their first winning record away from Lone Depot Park of the season. We're fired up to bring you the series finale, game 3 of a 3-game set between the 30-40 Washington Nationals and your now 27-41 Miami Marlins. Second start of the season for Yuri Perez, 22-year-old right-hander. He made his first start of 25 post Tommy John last week in Pittsburgh. He will look to bounce back here today against the Nats. Mackenzie Gore, the southpaw, 26-year-old. He's been fantastic for Washington. He'll take the bump for a reeling Nationals team who have lost 7 in a row. Gore has been a bright spot in a dark season early on for the Nationals. He'll make his 15th start of the season. First pitch slated for 1:35 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Again, happy Father's Day. Welcome in here. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Sunday afternoon. This is Marlins on Deck. Steven Strom here. Jack McMullen and Scott Kornberg will join the program in a little bit. They also have your call at 1:35. We've got a Father's Day edition of Marlins on Deck. We'll first hear from a couple of fathers on the team. My dad will join for segment 2. We'll get you out of the count with Yuri Perez and Mackenzie Gore. Jack and Scott will jump in for some back and forth. Of course, our X-Poll question of today at Marlins Radio and Steve's guarantee to victory. Got a couple of bites from some of the dads down in the clubhouse. Dane Myers, Otto Lopez, Augustine Ramirez, and Tyler Phillips. Let's hear what they had to say on what it means to be a dad.
It's been cool. People always say you don't realize what it takes and what goes into it until you become one, and I can say that is true. A lot less sleep, a lot more sacrifices, but it's all worth it watching them grow up.
Are you a cool dad, do you think?
I think so. My wife may disagree, but I think I'm pretty cool.
Yo diría que un papá como bien divertido, pero a la vez, ¿sabes? Sabiendo que ella tiene que respetarme, tú sabes, como que si le tengo que hablar fuerte, le hablo fuerte.
Yeah, I would say a fun dad, but also she needs to make sure she respect me, right? If she needs to respect me, she cannot, she have to respect me.
I mean, I got an early gift. It's my daughter. It's my daughter. My wife gave it to me, and it was very emotional for me just to have, when she said it, Happy Father's Day, it was like, oh, I'm a father now. It's very special, and I feel proud of my daughter, and it's been
Is she playing baseball at all? You got a ball in her hand or no?
Yes, a little bit. I think, watching me and play baseball on TV too, and take it there by and throw me the ball. That, and I throw it, and she's try swing. I don't know, maybe softball. Cuando esté grande.
Yeah, we'll see when she's bigger.
Right now, there's a little moments where she started clapping and where am I on the field. It's precious. I think I can't explain how the emotion is, but my wife showed me videos about it, and sometimes it just gets you emotion sometimes.
Yo estoy en el béisbol, a veces hay días que uno está de 4-0 y yo llego y ella me espera y eso como se me olvida.
Yeah, I would say now present day, because when you go 0-4 on a game, you go to your house and then you see that she's there waiting for you. I suddenly forget everything.
When it's time to lay down the rules, I will. But if he's testing me a little bit, but I want him to be confident. I want him to know how to speak. So I bring him to the clubhouse sometimes and make sure he knows to go and say what's up to the guys, jokes around with them, what a 4-year-old could do. But yeah, I'd say it's a little bit of both. I just want him to be diverse when it comes to his personality.
All right, that was fantastic stuff right there. Dane Myers, Otto Lopez, Augustine Ramirez, and Tyler Phillips. There's a special bond between baseball, fatherhood, and being a son. I definitely have experienced it. I want Jack and Scott to explain and give us some of their memories growing up in segment 4. But it's a really special day, and I think there's a unique connection to this sport. Baseball is really awesome because you come to the game, and it's the only sport where you can have conversation with, and when you're a kid you have a soda, maybe your dad has a beer, you get some popcorn, and you talk between pitches, especially when there was no pitch clock. So it was a time not only to kind of sit back, relax, forget about what you had, the next day at school or whatever your dad had at work, and just the ability to take in, celebrate, and cheer on your favorite team, but also have some conversations, dream a little bit about being a big leaguer or whatever it may be. And that's special. That's something that hockey, no offense, basketball, which I love, and football, they just don't provide. There's constant action in those sports, which is a great thing in their own respective way. But when it comes to baseball, it's a lot more conversational. It's a lot more experience-based, and that's something that is incredibly near and dear to my heart. Coming up next, my dad. It's a tradition. This is his third time on. We'll talk Marlins. We'll also talk some of his best broadcasters ever in baseball. Got a good list. I dare you not to turn the dial because this is a good show coming up. We got my dad, we got Scott, we got Jack, we got ahead of the count, and we also have an opportunity at our first sweep of 2025. We're back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stauer scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th. 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th. See.
The 1-1. Liner in the air to center field. It'll get down for a hit. Sanchez scores from third base, and Liam Hicks continues his hot hitting. He walked in the first. He's got an RBI single here in the third to tie the score at 1.
Obviously through. Brad Lord may have a tougher job.
1-0 line drive pretty deep to right field. Call going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. Jesus Sanchez crushes a long home run just to the left of the Nationals bullpen. It's his 6th homer of the year, and Miami moves to 3-1 in the 7th over the Nationals.
With their traditional home whites, they go with this light blue City Connect top. A 1 pitch. That one popped up right side of the infield, drifting into shallow right. Second baseman Garcia is calling for it, and Luis Garcia dropped the ball. Stowers comes in to score. Myers went to third base. Garcia nonchalantly was positioned to catch the final out of the inning, but he flat out dropped the baseball, and the Marlins add a run to their advantage. It's 4-1 here in the top of the 8th inning.
We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
Welcome in here on a special Marlins on Deck. It's the Father's Day edition. It's a tradition here. Steven Strom with Steven Strom as well. We have made this a tradition, and you're back here for more. How's the weekend been and seeing your favorite son?
Oh, it's been fun. It's funny. This is the 3rd year in a row. Yep. 2 years ago we were here. Last year we were in New York, City Field. Yep. So this is like second home now, coming here for Father's Day weekend. It's been good.
And he's wearing already, for our audio audience, you can't see how good my dad looks right now, but I got him a Hugo Boss polo. He's rocking it, and he's ready to go. It's a good look on you.
Well, you make me look good. That's a good thing.
Okay, last year we did a couple of different questions, but I want to start with baseball on the radio and your top 3 broadcasters for baseball.
Well, growing up, Jack Buck has a special place in my heart because he made the call in the World Series 1991. Kirby Puckett hits home run, 10th inning, and he said, "We'll see you tomorrow night," which I loved. And that's always going to stick with me. Growing up, it was Bob Uecker for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he just was a great storyteller. What a great, funny guy. Yep. He also was in Mr. Belvedere. He was on Johnny Carson all the time, so he was like a celebrity. Yeah. But he was ours. He was Milwaukee's. And then finally, Harry Carey. Harry Carey was the most ridiculously funny, great personality. If the game was a blowout, he'd say just about anything. Harry liked to tip a couple of buds during the game. So by the 8th, 9th inning, Harry's words were slurred once in a while, but he would say anything. So it was a lot of fun with those guys.
Just like Jack and I. I'm totally kidding. It's funny you mentioned those 3. What do all 3 of those guys have in common? They're from the Midwest. There's a Midwest charm, I feel like, with broadcasting. Why do you think that they're a little bit more relatable or a little bit more entertaining than maybe others?
They have the roots of the Midwest, and I think the people there, just there's a kind of a more of a storytelling, shoot the bull. Out here in the East Coast where I'm living now, people want you to get down to business right away, right? You go to Minnesota, hey, what did you do over the weekend? You go ice fishing, did you do this? And there's just the storytelling is really great. I'm sure there's great storytellers in the East too, but it is funny that those 3 guys, St. Louis, Milwaukee, and Chicago with Harry Carey. So, yeah.
I can totally get behind that. Again, Steven Strom with Steven Strom here on a special Marlins on Deck Father's Day. When I'm in my elevator in Miami, it's almost like you're bothering someone if you ask them how they're doing. But when you're walking around in Minnesota, you see someone on the other side of the street, and they're like, "How are you?" Like, they give you that hospitality that I very much enjoy. Okay, the next one. Father-son duos in baseball. I feel like there's one that comes to mind for you. Who is it and why?
For me, it's Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, they just changed baseball. They played together for a while. And Ken Griffey Jr. was a kid that, growing up in the Midwest, Kirby Puckett was my favorite player. Puckett and Ken Griffey Jr. became pals, and he was kind of a mentor to him. So that duo, I'm sure there's others that are close, Vlad, and some of these other guys, but I think the Griffeys, to me, are the two, the father-son were the best for me. So
Steven Strom and Steven Strom getting you ready for Game 3 on this Sunday afternoon from D.C. Last one for you. This Marlins team, they've scrapped this year, they've clawed, they've figured out ways to win close games. What has been the highlight or what you've enjoyed most about watching and listening, whether it's a player or whether it's a trend that you've seen this season?
Well, it's such a young team, and I'm familiar with Max Myers, right, from Minnesota.
Your guy.
Yeah, and some of the other guys, the younger guys. I mean, I think there's an enthusiasm here, and I think there's a huge future. Getting Yuri back is great. So I think it's one of these seasons where it's kind of wait and see, but there's some people that are emerging, and it's just kind of fun to watch them grow.
I absolutely love doing this. Happy Father's Day, and I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
All right, we'll break here. Marlins on Deck continues on the Marlins Radio Network.
Gone to junior college. 1-1. Line shot, left center field, up the alleyway. That's a base hit rolling all the way to the wall. Wagaman rounds third and scores. Norby getting the wave at third. Here's the relay, and Norby beats it. He scores, and going to second with a 2-run double is Dane Myers. It's a haymaker, and the Marlins have scored 4 times in the third. They lead at 6-0.
Do again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stauer scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th.
1 tonight and found a way to win 12-4.
That one driven high in the air out to shallow left field. That's headed towards the triangle. You got the third baseman Tana calling for it, but it drops between the shortstop and the third baseman. Xavier Edwards was gunning for second base, and the throw came in from the left field line to get X at second. Garcia was covering the base. The throw beat Edwards by plenty. Hernandez 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th.
Come away with nothing.
That last sinker was at 100. 2-2. Wagaman lines one right side. That's through for a base hit. This may score 2. X scores from third. Augustine gets the wheel around from second. He scores standing up, and Otto pushes to third base. Wags comes through. A line shot through the vacated right side of the infield.
Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
All right, back here on Father's Day 2025, Marlins Radio live from Nationals Park in the nation's capital. I'm Steven Strom, host of the program, steering you to first pitch at 1:35. How about these Marlins, man? They dropped 2 out of 3 against the Rays and the Pirates, but they have responded here in Washington, and they played with a different edge these first 2 games, and all of a sudden they're in a position to capture their first sweep of 2025 and end this road trip at 5-4. They've been really good against the Nats this year. They're 4-1 on the season series after Washington went 11-2 against Miami in 2024. Well, it's great to say this again, and it will be for the entire year. Yuri Perez toes the rubber for Miami for the second time this year. 22-year-old right-hander will make his second start of the season. His first major league start since September 20th, 2023 was exciting. Obviously, the line didn't reflect, but it was great to see Yuri back out there against Pittsburgh. I think it was on Monday, Scotty, if I'm not mistaken, allowed 4 runs and 4 hits in 3 innings, 5 punch-outs, and 2 walks. Was it Monday?
It was Monday.
Man, it feels so far ago.
The Tampa Bay series feels like last month to me.
Doesn't it?
That's wild. So, yeah, Monday. It was Monday to start the second leg of the road trip in Pittsburgh.
Unbelievable. 80 pitches. That third inning was problematic. It was the Achilles heel. The Pirates played it 4 in that inning, but all in all, Yuri Perez, the main concern with him was to come out of that start healthy. He will make his second start here against the Nationals. Career-wise against the Nats, 2 starts, 1-0, a 2.30 ERA, 15 2/3. He will go opposite Mackenzie Gore. They've got their guy going for a team that have lost 7 in a row. Davey Martinez has to be smirking that he gets to put out his ace, Southpaw, 26-year-old, who has had a breakout year. He's making his 15th start. Mackenzie Gore comes into Sunday afternoon, a 3-5 record, a 2.88 ERA. God, I got to get my handwriting better. 81 1/3 innings pitched, 114 Ks to 22 22 walks this year in 14 starts. He did not factor in Queens on Thursday against the Mets. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, no walks across 6 innings, 6 punch-outs. He's had 4 consecutive quality starts. He struck out 6 or more in all but 1 start this year. He is second in baseball with 114 total Ks. And Gore did face the Marlins earlier in the season on April 13th. He actually got beat up. It tied a season high in runs with 4, which isn't a ton. That just shows how good he's been this year. 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs against the Marlins on April 13th. So one team looking to stop this skid. The Nationals have lost 7 in a row. 10 of the 12 games this year, they've scored less than 3 runs. And how about the Marlins? An opportunity to head back to the 305 with a 5-4 record and capture their first sweep here in 2025. We will break. Scott and Jack will join me next. We'll talk Father's Day 2025 plus expectations for Yuri Perez. It's going to be a 1:35 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Found out Dane's dating this girl named Mallory. Here's 2-2. Fly ball pretty deep to left, down the line, towards the corner. It's gone! Nick Fortes cracks a scoreless game open with a long home run down the left field line. And the Marlins grab a 2-0 lead here in the third.
It looked like a worse miss than it actually was.
The 1-1. Line shot center field. That's a base hit. Lopez getting the wave around third. Here's Cruz's throw all the way in. It's offline. It gets by Davis to the third base dugout, and Wagaman takes second. So it's an RBI single for Wagaman, and he bumps up into scoring position, and Miami has a 3-0 lead here in the fourth.
Dane, I saw you were the first one in your handshake line screaming, good win. What made tonight a good win?
Yeah, been skidding a little bit. Like I've been saying since the beginning of the year, we're the fighting fish. That's a really good win. Close ball games is what we're going to have to win to be good this year, and I'm glad to see us do that.
How did Sandy set the tone for your team tonight?
Yeah, he set it from pitch one, attacking their hitters. Decent lineup over there. So for him to just attack them and trust us behind him is huge.
Over the weekend, Nick Fortes obviously had a rough Saturday. We know how bad he felt about the Weathers incident. For him to hit a home run tonight, how good did that feel as a teammate and also just a human being?
Yeah, it's huge. Like you said, 40 is kind of the glue of the team. Everybody felt bad for him, but I don't think anybody felt worse than him. So to see him come up clutch, first AB like that is pretty special.
How did you see your offense be opportunistic tonight against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think we just took advantage whenever they made
30 at the 20, it's 3 to the end zone. Touchdown. The Miami Dolphins play on Fox Sports 940 and your iHeartRadio app.
All right, we're back here on a Sunday afternoon, final game of this 3-city road trip. Thank the Lord we're coming back home to the 305. Marlins opportunity to sweep the Nationals 5-4 road trip on the line here. Don't miss a moment of Marlins action. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 the top preset to listen to every Marlins game. I'm Steven Strom. That's Jack McMullen. That's also Scott Kornberg. Those two have your call. They also will join me. Want to get to some housekeeping quickly, and then we'll throw it to some Father's Day memories. Anthony Veneziano option to AAA Jacksonville. Freddie Tarnick has been recalled and will join the team. Lou Albert Arias was DFA'd. Okay. Father's Day 2025, I mentioned it in the first segment, guys. There's a special relationship between baseball, father, and son. I want you to give me your first memories that come to mind when you think about your dad, baseball, and yourself.
Scott, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
First off, would not be here without my dad. He's amazing. And the first memories I have are walking up the thousands of ramps. I felt like we were walking up Mount Everest to get to the top of Shea Stadium, but going to games there. And then anytime we were in the car listening to baseball on the radio, a lot of I remember where I was for certain moments in Mets and Yankees history because I was with my dad. So that was really cool growing up in New York and New Jersey. He's an amazing person. Would not be here without you, Dad.
I will echo the first part of what Scott said. I would not be here without my father, Tom. And now, there are a couple of things. My dad has been huge on me meeting people throughout the course of my career and just childhood in general. So He was always like that kind of guy that would scope out. It's like, oh, I heard from this person that the visiting baseball team stays here. So we were in Baltimore once for a White Sox-Orioles series, and he figured out where the White Sox were staying. So we sat in the lobby, and I got to meet Jake Peavy and Adam Dunn and Mark Burley, and that was just amazing. And my dad always prioritized that. But no, it was great. And speaking of which, I remember where I was for so many baseball memories with my dad. And my favorite one, we were at the game that Jim Tomei hit his 500th home run in, and it was a walk-off home run for his 500th.
Was that against the Twins?
It might have been. It was in Chicago. It was a walk-off home run for Tomei's 500th. And the thing is, it was a multi-homer game. So we were there for $4.99.
Wow.
We saw it. And then my brother, who was really young at the time, by the way, congratulations, Finn, on graduating from Santa Clara University. Finn. But that happened yesterday. But Finn was 4 or 5 years old at the time, and he said, Dad, Jack, I want to go home. So we go home in the 7th inning, and we're on Lower Wacker Drive in Chicago listening to the game on the radio, and the late Ed Farmer calls Jim Tomei's walk-off home run for number 500. My dad hits the steering wheel and goes, dang it. that was great. I loved that.
That is great. Those are great stories. I'm trying to think, like, I told you guys all the time, like, I grew up a Twins fan. My dad's like a Minnesota nut, which is why I like every other Minnesota team. And I talk about the Yankees, and we just always lost every single time. I'll tell you this, my favorite baseball memories actually came in our house, because around 8:10, the Twins would come on. That's Central Time. Of course, 7:10, they would start the games. But back in Jersey, it's 8:10. So a lot of the times we would, meet for like first pitch. We would watch Johan Santana, Francisco Liriano, Brad Radke, whoever it was. But it was our time just to, like, again, sit back, relax. We turn on MLB Extra Innings. We always used to guess what channel it was on. I'd be like, Dad, I think it's on 714. He's like, no, I think it's on 711. Little did I know, he would see the ticker below before the game started.
And he was always right?
Always would be right. But the other thing, too, and I hopefully my mom isn't listening to this, around 10:15, 10:20, I was in bed. I mean, I had to go to bed at like 9 o'clock. Joe Nathan would come in to save the games. And I remember around that time, I would sneak down, and my dad would be like, he'd give me the finger, come down, come down, come down. And I'd watch the 9th inning and then run back up, and hopefully my mom wouldn't wake up. But it is pretty unique, again, the relationship, the love triangle of father, son, and baseball. And I'm glad we all can share those memories here on the pregame show. Thank you guys very much.
Oh, thank you,
That's
man.
awesome. It is one of the best things about baseball is with your parents. And I can say that as a dad now. It has tied me to my kids as well.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to Scott.
Yes, happy Father's Day to
guys.
David and to Tom and to Steve. All you guys, happy Father's Day. We will break here. Expo question, Steve's guarantee. It's next. Then you'll hear Jack and Scott at 1:35. We're back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Found out Dane's dating this girl named Mallory. Here's 2-2. Fly ball pretty deep to left, down the line, towards the corner. It's gone! Nick Fortes cracks a scoreless game open with a long home run down the left field line. And the Marlins grab a 2-0 lead here in the third.
It looked like a worse miss than it actually was.
The 1-1. Line shot center field. That's a base hit. Lopez getting the wave around third. Here's Cruz's throw all the way in. It's offline. It gets by Davis to the third base dugout, and Wagaman takes second. So it's an RBI single for Wagaman, and he bumps up into scoring position, and Miami has a 3-0 lead here in the fourth.
Dane, I saw you were the first one in your handshake line screaming, good win. What made tonight a good win?
Yeah, been skidding a little bit. Like I've been saying since the beginning of the year, we're the fighting fish. That's a really good win. Close ball games is what we're going to have to win to be good this year, and I'm glad to see us do that.
How did Sandy set the tone for your team tonight?
Yeah, he set it from pitch one, attacking their hitters. Decent lineup over there. So for him to just attack them and trust us behind him is huge.
Over the weekend, Nick Fortes obviously had a rough Saturday. We know how bad he felt about the Weathers incident. For him to hit a home run tonight, how good did that feel as a teammate and also just a human being?
Yeah, it's huge. Like you said, 40 is kind of the glue of the team. Everybody felt bad for him, but I don't think anybody felt worse than him. So to see him come up clutch, first AB like that is pretty special.
How did you see your offense be opportunistic tonight against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think we just took.
Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Offer ends soon. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
This is Steve Strom, Steven's dad, and you're listening to Marlins On Deck with my son on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, Big Steve Strom brings us back here on a Sunday afternoon from Washington, D.C. It's Game 3 series finale, final game of this road trip for the Miami Marlins. Yuri Perez will go opposite Mackenzie Gore this afternoon at 1:35. I'm Steven Strom, Scott Kornberg, Jack McMullen with me as well. Let's get to our Expo question of today. I don't know how to ask this or phrase it. The most recent son to debut with his dad being a former big leaguer. Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio.
I got the terminology for you. How about the last second generation big leaguer to debut?
That's why you're
most
here, Jack.
recent second generation big leaguer.
Nice job. That's perfect.
There we go.
All right, Steve's Guarantee. Let's get to it here, Ahmed.
Batter up.
Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Thanks, Jack. I don't know if he potted you down, but I'll
Steve's
take
Guarantees.
it too. Okay, Yuri Perez today, 5 innings, less than 3 runs. Here's why Washington's offense has really struggled. 10 of 12 games this month, less than 3 runs. I like Yuri to bounce back. You heard Davey Martinez in post-game comments say it's not on the coaches, it's really about the players. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. I like Yuri to come out here and bounce back. 3 innings yesterday, or last start on Monday in Pittsburgh. 4 runs. It's his first start. Give him some leeway. I like Yuri to come out here and set the tone for these Marlins. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Scott Kornberg, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Father's Day 2025. Again, happy Father's Day to all of you out there. This is the Marlins Radio Network.